right, ready? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order Wednesday, February 26th. Can we have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Chair. So I'll start with Chair Quilty,
Here.
Commissioner Griego,
Here.
Commissioner Hasty,
Here.
Commissioner Heichman,
Here.
and Commissioner Legier.
Here.
Okay, and since we have two new members, we'll do a little introduction if you want us to know where you live and.
I'm Commissioner Shannon Griego. I live in Greenbrook with my family. My 9-year-old daughter goes to LAE, and I've been here about 5 years in Los Alamitos. Anything else?
Oh, you
No.
want me to go? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought they knew me. My name's John Legier. This is my second year on the Planning Commission. I live in the Highlands. I grew up in the Highlands. Moved to LA and Long Beach for a little while, and then we came back to the Highlands when our second daughter was born, and we've been there ever since.
Marianne Quilty. I've been on the commission, I think, since 2012.
Sounds right.
I was never the longest reigning person, and now I am all of a sudden.
Yeah, you are.
I live in the Highlands also. I grew up in the Highlands, but I did live in Lakewood and up in LA for a while.
My name's Joe Hasty. This is also my second year on the commission. I grew up here in College Park, down the road here. I live over in Carrier Row, and my daughters all went to LosAl schools. I went to all the LosAl schools, so I've been in the area quite a few, since 1976. So.
Hello, I'm Commissioner Linda Heichman. I grew up in Los Angeles area in Culver City. Have been living in Los Alamitos for 12 years, first in Carrier Row and now in the newly renamed Midtown. My son went all through LosAl schools. He just graduated and is going to Long Beach State. And yeah, go Beach. There you go.
My daughter went there.
Mhm.
Well, welcome.
All right.
Nice to have
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, if there's anybody in the audience who would like to come up and speak on an item that's not on the agenda, please come forward. Not seeing anyone, we'll move on to the consent calendar, and we will do the annual Planning Commission reorganization, so I will hand it over there.
I will take that. So thank you, Chair Quilty. I will do my best Gabby impression here. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations for office of chair. After nominations, I will close the nominations and a roll call vote will be taken in the order of nominations received. I would like to add that, understanding that Ms. Quilty, you have been on the commission and served as a chair prior, in the last year prior. You're not precluded or not unable to continue a second term if you're nominated, so just wanted to mention that.
Okay.
So are there any nominations for the office of chair?
Yeah, I'd like to make a nomination for Commissioner Quilty to continue to serve as the chair. We only had about 6 meetings last year, so I think she's got the most senior knowledge of the commission. I think it would be smart for us to have her chair this year.
Are there any further nominations? Okay, so there being no further nominations, nominations are closed. Please vote for Commissioner Quilty for the office of chair, and I will conduct a roll call. Commissioner Quilty,
Aye.
Commissioner Griego,
Aye, yes.
Commissioner Hasty,
Aye.
Commissioner Heichman,
Aye.
and Commissioner Legier.
Aye.
So motion carried with 5 ayes and 0 nays. So congratulations, Chair Quilty, for a second term. I now turn in the meeting over to you to conduct the nominations of the vice chair. And here's the script.
Okay. All right, at this time, I'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair. After nominations, I'll close the nominations and then ask the secretary for roll call in the order the nominations were received. Are there any nominations for vice chair? I'll nominate Commissioner Hastings.
Okay.
Are there any further nominations? Okay, there being no further nominations, we'll close the nominations and do a roll call vote.
Okay, so I'll conduct the roll call vote for Commissioner Quilty for nomination of Commissioner Hasty as the vice chair. Commissioner Quilty?
Aye.
Commissioner Griego?
Aye.
Commissioner Hasty?
Aye.
Commissioner Heichman?
Aye.
And Commissioner Legier.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0. And congratulations, Vice Chair Hasty, for the
Yep,
nomination
yep.
and the appointment.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to the approval of the September 25th Planning Commission minutes. Did anybody have any changes?
I just had one quick one, page 12. Just lost that or not. It was, the first sentence, it was, shared desire to see a condition put into place that the second portion of the lot split get built and not sold off. You just
Oh,
missed the not.
yeah.
Little important. That's all.
Okay, do we have,
Are we doing one at a time?
yeah, we have to do them separately.
I'll make a motion to accept the approval of the minutes for the September 25th meeting.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I just want clarification, just to make sure that since Commissioner Heichman and Commissioner Grego was not there, they have to kind of abstain from the vote, correct?
No, in this instance, with the change of commission members, it's fine for you all to vote on approval of these minutes, provided you're comfortable with doing so and have reviewed the printed form of the minutes. It's no issue.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the approval of the October 23rd Planning Commission minutes. Any changes on that one?
None for me.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that we accept the meeting. I move that we accept the October 23rd minutes.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? All right, minutes approved. Now we'll move on to public hearing for the conditional use permit for the health fitness facility on Bloomfield. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, Chair. Again, congratulations, Chair Colte, and congratulations, Vice Chair Hasty, but good evening to the rest of the commission. Tonight, we are going to consider a CUP, a conditional use permit, for a health fitness facility located in an approximately 3,000 square foot warehouse in the planned light industrial zone, and approximately at 10579 Bloomfield. This area is basically across the street, McCullough Middle School, closer to the Cerrito side. Again, we have the applicant here, I believe is Jason Shelton from Raw Performance. We'll go over the specifics of the project, and our senior planner, Tom Oliver, will take us through that. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Quilty and members of the Planning Commission, Mr. Shelton has submitted a CUP application, conditional use permit is what that means, for strength and conditioning gym in the industrial zone. The business known as Raw Performance is currently occupies a 2,960 square foot unit. City auditing of business licenses recently revealed that the facility doesn't have an entitlement or a business license at this point. The land use is considered a health and fitness facility, large, and the municipal code distinguishes between large and small facilities for this kind of use, whereas small facilities are less than 2,500 square feet and they're permitted by right. One that's over that size requires going to the Planning Commission and having a decision made. Raw Performance is considered large because of their size. The proposed floor plan is attached to your report, your staff report, and a conditional use permit application presented tonight asks the Commission to consider whether this facility or a future facility that might go into this unit would be appropriate for this unit. So you're not deciding just on this business, you're deciding on the use for this unit for the future, and it rides with the land, is what we say. While the business has already existed at this location for a while, everyday concerns such as noise, parking, safety should be considered still. The Planning Commission is asked to approve or deny this application using the CUP findings in the municipal code as shown as in the resolution and gone over in the staff report as well. The proposed unit is in the Burke Alamitos Business Center, surrounded by industrial buildings on all sides on the same parcel. Nearby parcels and buildings are shown in the staff report. The applicant states that the hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m., and Sunday, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Since it's in the industrial area, staff has placed a condition of approval in the draft resolution that the daily's hours of operation can be between 5 to 10 p.m. And that's in case they become more successful in the future and want to have more classes. Usually there's a question of whether the sound emanating from the business would be an issue. However, the business has existed already and hasn't had complaints from neighboring businesses, has no code enforcement issues at all at this point, other than missing a business license at this point. Many of these businesses, though, incorporate loud amplified music into their classes. So staff has added a condition to the resolution that they adhere to the city exterior noise standards. Let's see, the use requires 1 parking space per 200 square feet of the unit. And so at 2,960 square feet, it would require 15 spaces. So staff has put a condition that while this kind of business is in here, they're expected to be able to have 15 spaces in the property. And the city has experienced these types of businesses before, desiring to conduct business outdoors, and which is not permitted unless they get another CUP for outdoor running of their business. And so the staff has put another condition for that they keep all of the business indoors. They can get a temporary use permit for a short period of time for outdoor performance of their business, but it probably wouldn't work in this location very well, but that is a possibility. If this use were to be approved, any structural interior improvements would be required to be receive a building permit from the building department and from OCFA as well. The CUP does not automatically denote that the use is appropriate for all locations. To approve a CUP, well, I already said that you have to follow the findings of the CUP section of the code. And staff feels that it fits all of the findings at this point and recommends approval for this business. That concludes my, go ahead.
Can I get a clarifying, are they up to date on their business license?
No.
No, all right.
They can't be up to date on that until they receive
okay,
a
so
CUP.
that's a clarifying, right? So
Yeah.
you were wondering, right? So if you do happen to approve this, then just like any other business in the city, they're required to obtain a business license. Okay, Chair, back to you. Any questions? We're here. And then, or do you want the applicant to speak first?
Okay, we can have the applicant come up and speak, if you'd like.
You turn the podium on?
Hello? Yeah, we're just trying to get current with everything. We got no problem getting current with business license, back fees, whatever we need to do. Any questions for us as far as use or anything?
Yeah, I just have a quick question here. The hours of operation, are these the hours that you're planning on continuing after if the commission were to continue,
Pretty
right, were to
much.
approve.
As far as right now, the staffed hours, when we're in there running classes, they're usually majority 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. approximately. Yeah.
Okay. And you're anticipating the class sizes will stay about the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a saturation issue. We can't cram any more people in there and they don't feel comfortable. So
Right.
it's usually small groups, 3 to 6 or so is typical for us.
All right, I don't think I actually opened the public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing, and now we can close the public hearing. I just have one question. Tom, is this the same landlord that had the, tried to put the hairdresser in? That she was opening up the beauty shop and it didn't get approved? She told her that it was an approved use when it wasn't.
Right. This property has had quite a few businesses that the manager doesn't tell people they need to get a business license.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, that was the same
And
property.
we have written her and explained that to her. So,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, go ahead.
So first, I got a couple questions. So it looks like on page 35, there's a chart of all the different businesses there. Was that created, did we create that, or did that come from the owner?
it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
I fill it in as best as I can, then I send it to the property owner and I say.
Approve it.
Explain what fills all these other units and stuff like that.
Because my only question with this business, it does say evenings and I can't read it because I can put my glasses on.
Yeah.
I think it says after hours and weekends. Is that any kind of condition from your landlord or anything, or?
Well, the hours are in the.
Right, I know that, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, since it's here.
Mm.
No? Okay, great. The second thing, based on the hours, I assume that we put the extension of the hours that could be up to 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
And I understand that for
In the-
future and all that kind of
In
stuff.
the industrial zone, there are actually no hours of operation required by the
Right.
code. But since it is a possible noise-making business.
And people coming and safety and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So is that a similar time to other businesses similar to this
Yes.
business in that area? Okay.
Yeah, most of them are to 9 though, but the other ones that were to 9 were businesses that have children and stuff like
Okay.
that. This generally adults.
And then my last question is, condition number 12, since they do have to get a CUP, since they're over the 2,500 square feet, that condition states that they cannot use the outside area.
Right.
Well, most of these gyms do use outside areas. I
Yes.
think even tonight, I went by there, so there is stuff outside. Is that the same condition for someone under 2,500 square feet?
Actually, this last week, I had him remove all that stuff.
Well, I mean,
Because,
but outside use is,
A lot of places don't understand that you can't have your business outdoors until they get a CUP, and that's when we tell them that they need to bring it inside. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
correct. So I think that's why I'm saying this condition, and it would be, I think the way that they're conducting business would be hard to comply with right now. At least what I saw, because I drove through there tonight, so they have a couple bikes and some stuff outside, which is great. But my question is, are we requiring them not to do that outside just because they're getting a CUP? And someone that's under 2,500 square feet, which there's multiple ones in that same center that do exactly the same thing, but they don't have to go through this
Yeah.
process. I just want to make sure that that condition is either fair or equal, or
all
it's
business.
everyone should be complying with that.
Yes, everyone,
Okay.
all businesses.
All right, then I
Like,
feel
for
more
instance,
comfortable
If you go
with-
to a gas station and they're selling sheets out in front, like you've seen a lot of gas stations, that's illegal. They're not allowed.
Well, and usually fitness centers have that, the
Yeah.
outside training, they're flipping tires, they're doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's
and we give
technically
them
outside.
tickets for that.
Correct.
So I just want to make sure that's clarifying in the city attorney, but you can do outside activity on public right-of-way, like a
Yeah.
sidewalk, all right? So let's say you're in the gym and you
This
want to
is
go for a
private.
run, you
Yeah.
could run on the sidewalk, right? But you can't do it on the private property, which is on like the parking lot.
Well, this
per
is
se.
the private alley.
Correct.
And they do it, I mean, that's why I'm trying to be fair about it, because it's going to be a hard condition for a business of this type to comply with, because a lot of times they have the door open, they want to do outside stuff,
Yeah.
do runs, push the tires, that kind of
Understood.
stuff. You can't do that
Yeah,
inside.
It's consistent even with like commercial, right? Again, you can apply for a temporary use to do exercise outside or sell something outside, but again, according to some state law, like you can do sidewalk vending on the sidewalk, and we can't prohibit that.
Correct,
So
but
the
this
same
is an
thing.
alley. So that's where I think
Yeah.
that's why I'm bringing up the point. I guess I could see where if they did get a conditional permit to, say they wanted to come in and do the outside stuff, say they wanted to comply 100% and they wanted to be, good stewards and comply 100%. I think there would be no way to comply with that, because probably during the day, other businesses would probably complain that, hey, I can't pull my truck in, I can't do this. At 6 o'clock at night, when the place is empty over there, it's great. So I just wanted to bring it, you answered my question. Everyone is under I didn't want to put an extra condition on these folks that we're not putting on folks just because their place is bigger.
Right.
Whether they comply or not, that's not our job. We're gonna put the condition in there, move it along, and then that's up to you guys to how you handle it.
Right. A lot of conditions that we put in resolutions are a reminder,
Correct.
just to remind people of that. There's still a code.
Right. I just wanted to be fair, because
Yeah.
just because their business is a little bit bigger, that they have to
Yeah.
follow the same
No,
rules.
yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah. Right.
Do we have any other comments? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the staff report about the neighborhood sign assessment.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So throughout the past, going back a little bit on history here, we had certain residents of the city, including our elected official, inquiring about neighborhood signage, right? As you are aware of residents, that a lot of people or residents take great pride in their neighborhood. And so we said, why don't we do a survey to find out if there is an actual interest in doing so. So a survey was done from June through August of 2024 last year. And tonight, we're going to discuss the survey results with you. And then hopefully you can provide a recommendation to the city council if we want to proceed. There's not a one size fit all type thing. I'll just, be very transparent and say that if we were to do signage, it's a lot easier that we just do the entire city and then we make everyone look the same. But again, I understand that each neighborhood is very unique and they want specific signage, and we're able to do that as well. And that we don't have to do all neighborhoods, right? And so again, Tom's gonna lead us through the survey results, but there's not an issue that, this neighborhood said yes, through the survey, we want it, and you can say yes, and this one said no. The one caveat there is that because of the branding, the renaming of apartment roads in Midtown, I feel that that's probably something that we're going to do to help instigate that and rename that. But again, ultimately, we're looking for a recommendation to take to City Council, all right? And so again, Tom will take us through the survey results.
Yeah. And the survey took place, Chair Quilty and members of the Planning Commission, between June 17th and August 2nd last year. The city council looked at the results and made their decision on Midtown, like he was saying. When the survey was closed, the staff compiled the results, and as expected, Midtown had the most responses, and that's because they were responding mostly to wanting a name change. But there were 89 of those folks that responded, followed by the Highlands with 68 responses and Carrier Row with 47. And 55% of the respondents noted that the city did not need neighborhood signage, which was unexpected. Surprisingly, when broken down by neighborhood, many of the neighborhoods that do not currently have signage, such as Old Town West and New Dutch Haven, recorded the largest no to signage numbers. But there were individual neighborhoods that voted yes. and to neighborhood signage. But most of them, frankly, this was a low turnout on the survey for most neighborhoods. So with low numbers of respondents, Country Square and the bungalows had an affirmative response for signage with only 1 vote per neighborhood. And other neighborhoods that responded yes were College Park North with 2 yes and 1 no, Woodcrest 4 yes, 1 no, Parkwood 4 yes, 1 no. Ties were experienced by Dutch Haven, well, one of the Dutch Havens.
Yeah.
4 yes and 4 no.
It's like old Dutch.
And the Highlands, with its higher numbers, 23 yes and 23 no. And El Dorado Park, 1 yes and 1 no. So as far as picking specific representational symbols, that was less popular with most people saying not at all important. If signage were installed, most people said that the best place was on a pole or on a wall or fence. I mean, not, let's see, did I write that right? The clearest. Yeah, it was on a pole, over on a wall, and then on a fence or in the median. And the clearest opinion gleaned from the survey was 62% winner, with signage being consistent with the same design across all neighborhoods. So if one neighborhood got a certain kind of sign, they all wanted the same sign. And of particular note, which was nice, family and friendly seem to be the most common descriptors of neighborhoods in the city, which we've seen before. That's always nice to see. And so, back to you.
Before you begin, I want to highlight, because it's interesting, because while we were going through this survey, and of course the few months and years beforehand, residents of the Highland neighborhood was the one that was very vocal about putting signage to mark their neighborhood. And as you can see, they came out, they're the highest #1 with approximately 46 people answering the survey. But again, it's very interesting that it was split literally half. Half said yes and half
Right.
said no.
Right.
That's kind of an interesting note for myself. Okay, all right, thank you.
If I may too, just to add a little bit more context to how this was presented, this was a 3-month journey of soliciting feedback and participation of residents. That was included through various outreach methods, from essentially flyers, door hangers, online, website. So even though the representation might seem a little underwhelming in terms of participation, there was extensive effort to get the word out. I can attest that we utilized our website as the main engine of information going out. And having had similar participation of other surveys, it's not uncommon, unfortunately, sometimes surveys are not as desirable to participate in. So therefore, that was the motivation behind trying to get the word out through various methods. So just in case you're wondering why such a little representation across the board, that doesn't always tell the full story, unfortunately.
Okay, so are we discussing this to recommend, like, doing signs for all the neighborhoods? Or what exactly are we?
Yeah, so first off, absolutely, we could discuss it, but ultimately, yes, you could do it as a whole. You could take it neighborhood by neighborhood. It's up to the discretion of the.
And do we have any idea what it just seems really costly to me that it's probably not a necessary expense to do. I mean, I didn't even know there were a couple neighborhoods that I'd never even heard their name before.
Yes.
And I would have voted to change either Old Dutch Haven or New Dutch Haven. That one would drive me crazy if I lived there.
So again, it's hard to figure out an approximation because we don't know the design factor.
Right.
Okay, like if there's a huge cost difference between putting a monument in a median versus just putting a sign on a pole. Right? But I could tell you right here, just hard costs, and hard cost is just the actual supplies. We're not talking about labor. You could look at a signage, and I'm piggybacking off like a no U-turn sign or whatever that you're looking at. $200 approximately, 300 customization versus a monument, it could get up to 40 grand.
Right.
You know, and so,
Yeah.
so again, it's hard to make that cost comparison. Again, it depends on ultimately what design and what structure we're going to place out there.
Yeah.
I got a comment that could help us kind of maybe go in the right direction. So the way I looked at this, and this just, my opinion on it is, looking straight at the survey, you'd have to say, I don't think we can recommend to put signs everywhere. However, there is some desire out there. So one of the things that I was thinking about is maybe think of it more, I don't think there's a desire to put the big monument signs in every neighborhood, because I don't even think you could figure out where to put them. There's so many entrances to Carrier Road, where would you put them? One thing that could be done is, and this could be either done as a project or done as a routine deferred maintenance type thing when you have to replace signs, is when we have a street sign, cross street, Howard and Ticonderoga, is to just on top put the neighborhood in a decorative sign. So that each pole will get a decorative sign based on their neighborhood. And you can do that as a big project, or you could just do it, or you could do it as a deferred maintenance thing. If the signs go bad, you could then, I've seen it in La Mirada. I remember the old La Mirada ones. It's like
Yeah.
City of La Mirada, and then they had the street. Something like that would be, it seems more appropriate for this, because it wouldn't cost nearly as much. It would still get the recognition for the neighborhoods, and you'd look up and you say, oh, I'm in Midtown. That's just
Yeah,
an
I
idea.
like that idea, because you're right, it would be nice that people know that it's Midtown now, but where are you gonna put a sign
Yeah, where
for
would you put it?
Midtown?
Yeah.
There's so
But I
many.
think by streets, you should be able to figure that out, because I think even the signs change sometimes in the different neighborhoods, I think,
Correct.
colors.
That's an excellent point, Vice Chair, because I'll tell you this, part of Development Services, we do CIP projects. And so we are on the path of doing citywide sign replacement in phases, right? And so that's actually a very, very
Yeah.
good suggestion. Correct.
Can I ask also, I would assume that if we're talking about doing this, we're recommending doing this for all the neighborhoods in town or not doing them for any of the neighborhoods. I mean, we're not making provisional recommendations here, is that correct?
Again, it could be, like you stated, the two choices, or you could sit there and say, just follow the survey, and whoever said yes, do yes. If they say no, say no. So it's it's your recommendation as a body.
Okay.
So that one vote, not one neighborhood,
Yeah,
they get a
exactly.
sign.
Well, more to our point, and I think the Vice Chair's recommendation is an interesting one, because, once again, if we are going to be replacing signage, then what could be done is, obviously, as we go through the neighborhoods of town, right, simply replace the signage as need be. But it wouldn't require it to be done all in one fell swoop, right? It could be done provisionally as part of maintenance, as part of upkeep. And it would fit in with what I think would be not overwhelming, because there's nothing really overwhelming here, but it would be done with the idea that you would now be making people aware of what the neighborhoods are in town. And maybe that's one of the things that the town, right, for the longest time, right, understanding we didn't know what some of these neighborhoods were, and
Right.
we've grown
Yeah.
up here, so this might not be a bad idea, but not to do it as one large project, but maybe as a provisional project as part of city maintenance. That, I think, could be a pretty good idea.
But I would suggest getting one standard. Try. Try starting with one standard, and then if the council goes a different direction and everybody wants something different, that's something you're gonna have to handle. But I would start with one standard.
Yeah.
This is the font of your neighborhood. It can go on the sign, it can be printed on the sign, whatever. So,
I support the Vice Chair's idea as well. I really like the idea of having it be something that is not done all at once, that's done provisionally based on need. I would like to throw out another idea. The banners that are up on the light poles, that I don't know what the costs would be for those, and I don't know whether it would be applicable for all the neighborhoods, because I don't know if at the beginning of all the neighborhoods, all of those exist. But I do know that they are replaced, and that would be something where someone could very easily, along Midtown, know that they're in Midtown on that area of Katella, and then it switches to Carrier Row.
So Commissioner, that's a great suggestion, but there is a lot of, requirements to put those on there. So one here is those banners can't go on every pole, right? Like there's wood poles that are SCE, there's a concrete, so if you drive around, you'll never see a banner on a wood pole. We're not allowed to do that, right? And secondly, there's not a concrete pole in front of every neighborhood. So that's why, if you go down like Ball Street, for instance, there's sections of Los Alamitos, because it's all wood, there's no banners. So that, and then third, I would say that they are costly to,
Yeah.
not costly to produce, but costly for install. Okay?
Yeah. You know, I agree with those points and knowing the neighborhoods and knowing that there aren't banners on all of them, but I just thought that I would toss it out because I think visually it would really get the idea across.
Okay. Grayla?
I agree with the vice chair, a little sign over the existing street sign, kind of roll it out slowly, because it doesn't look like anyone overwhelmingly really cares, to be honest. The response is pretty low. But once you start doing it, then you might find people that weren't interested are suddenly interested.
Yes. Okay, so then should we vote on a recommendation, or,
Yes, we would like that, yes.
okay,
Do we have to state the recommendation? Or
We need
Yeah.
a motion. Would
Want to
we-
do a motion
Right.
with
Right.
your recommendation, and then we'll do a second, and then we'll do the,
Okay, I can try. All right, I would make a motion to recommend moving forward with some signage in the city that would be descriptive to neighborhoods and installed over existing street signs, or as a deferred maintenance project in the future to add the printing to the signs, if that makes sense. And then I think I'd like to add, I think you could also, on a case-by-case basis, add banners in places you can't do it. How's that?
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You can jazz that up any way you want for the council.
That's the beauty of having these meetings recorded on
Yeah.
YouTube now, is that, historically, we'd probably want to restate it and make sure it's written down word for
Exactly.
word, but we can leave tonight
Forgot to say
with the
that.
understanding that there's something to go back to and make sure we got it right for you.
Do we have any items from the Development Services Director?
yes, we do. So just a couple, my big thing that, again, as you could tell from the survey result, and I've been doing this, whether it's at a good evening event that we have or a planning commission event, I think I recently stated this at a council event too, is I urge the residents and our business owners and our property owners to stay connected with the city, right? We're trying very hard to make sure that people are connected, whether it's via social media, whether it's our recreation brochure that gets mailed out to every address in Los Alamitos that has a city news section to it, to we have flyers, we have door hangers, what else? We have YouTube channel. So again, go to the city's YouTube channel. We have a video called Milestones and Destination, if anyone ever wondering of what we've accomplished the last couple of years as a city and what we're gonna do for the next 2 or 3 years. It's about a 20-minute video that will kind of highlight some of the big things that we've done as a team here in Los Alamitos. But the next one that we're excited about, and you probably have seen already, is we have a paper that's launched out called the LosAl Loop, I believe, right? LosAl Loop.
Yeah.
And it goes out monthly, right? So the first edition was last month in February. And so again, it's a monthly thing, and again, I urge people to stay connected. If you see an issue, whether it's a public works thing like a pothole or tree trimming or a code enforcement violation, we have an app called the MyCityMyLosAl app. So again, I urge everyone to stay connected to the city as best we can. And then the last one I want to talk about is there's been a lot of talk lately about the bike lane that's been painted on Los Alamos Boulevard. So I did a presentation at council, and so council has directed and ordered us to come back with options to help mitigate some of the traffic congestions there. So right now, we're in assessment. I believe this week we are doing traffic counts on that, at that intersection, and then the traffic engineer and the city engineer and myself will come up with options. And so, again, stay connected to our city council meeting, because options will be coming and presented to council for them to, again, provide us direction. Okay, anything from our planner or from our DS manager?
Yes, just a few events. So this April, we will be bringing back our Arbor Day event. However, it's going to grow in size. So we would really encourage participation on your behalf to attend. It's going to be Saturday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You don't necessarily have to write it down. We'll make sure to distribute the flyer once it's ready. But it's exciting because, one, we're awaiting hopefully positive results of Tree City USA recognition on the national level. And that would allow us to get closer and closer to our overall mission of becoming a very tree-friendly city, but also having that branding that it comes with. And you probably have seen that at neighboring cities, Long Beach, La Mirada. There's a lot. And so ultimately through the Arbor Day Foundation, we can get that recognition and then really catapult us forward to making more successful strides at becoming tree-friendly. So Arbor Day is that Saturday. We'll provide the flyer. It'll be obviously marketed throughout all the different outlets that Ron shared earlier. And then May 17th, Saturday as well, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., we're bringing back our neighborhood cleanup, which was our dumpster day before. It was known as Dumpster Day. And that'll continue on Pine Street. So still some time, but just wanted to make sure that you had that information on hand. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any commissioner reports? Okay.
First, I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners for electing me vice chair. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the city staff for putting on the commissioners' dinner. It was great. The food was good. The kids that came from the high school were excellent, the little music that we had. And it was a good event. Let's see, what was the other thing? I did have one request for maybe a future agenda. I don't know if this is information you can get or you can't. I was very interested to know, especially when things come for us, if we have any way to track or know the vacancy rate in the city of Los Alamitos for residential and commercial. So, just an idea of like, it just, especially when we look at, different things coming towards us, just to know what that looks like in the city of Los Alamitos. Just as a reference point, and that's it.
Okay, with that, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Great.
Congratulations.